Do you know there is a default animated chart in Power BI? Hi, I am M. Asif Hussain from Know-How Academy. In this video, we are going to see the default animated chart in Power BI. You might have a question. There are many charts in Power BI, but why are we specifying only one animated chart in Power BI? All the charts that you are looking here on the screen, these are the charts which are by default that we have received as soon as we install Power BI desktop in our computers. Now, all those charts that we are seeing, these are all not animated. These are all just default charts that we have. But what is animation? Animation is something that there is a movement in the chart. There is a movement in the lines. There is a movement in the bubbles. There is a movement in the graph. So that is called animation. But these are all not animated charts in Power BI that we have. For example, if I would like to show it to you, let me choose a stacked bar chart. Let me choose a stacked bar chart. In this stacked bar chart, in y-axis, let me consider a category. And in the x-axis, let me choose sales. And if you see here, this is not animation. The chart, it is not animation. This is just a default chart that we have. If I would even like to add some more information in it, let me add region in the legend. But still it is a default chart. There is no sort of animation in it. Can we see any animation? No, we cannot see any animation in it. This is just a default chart that we have. But there is only one default animated chart in Power BI that we have, and that chart we call it as a scatter chart, where two numerical data we are going to use in this one. Now, you might have a question, do we have only one animated chart? No, in Power BI, we have more than 280 plus visuals, including the default and custom visuals. Okay, so again, I'm repeating, there are 280 plus visuals, including the default visuals plus custom visuals. Now you might have a question, as if again you are using a new word called custom visuals. What is this custom visuals? If I show it to you here, the charts, there are approximately 35 to 40 charts here. So all these charts that you are seeing, these are default charts which we can use it for free as soon as we install Power BI desktop in our computers. So this we can use it for free. No sort of upgradation, no sort of subscription is required in order to use all these default charts. But there is something called as custom visuals. So what are these custom visuals? So if I would like to give you a real-time example, so we all use mobile phones. For example, if you are using an Android phone, if you want to install any app or any application in our phone, we probably go to Play Store, and from Play Store we select whichever app we want and we try to install it. In the same way, if you go with the iOS, Android, if not Android, then if you go with the Apple users, then if you see there, we go with the iCloud, with Apple Store, App Store. If you go to App Store, we can download whichever or we can install whichever app we want by giving the credentials and so on. So in the same way, if you want to have some custom visuals, if you want to see some advanced charts that we have in Power BI, then there is an option called as custom visuals. I'll guide it to you. So after these all default charts that we have, can you see these three dots? In these three dots, if you click here, we can click on get more visuals. If I click on this get more visuals, then we get all those default, other than default, all those custom visuals that we have in Power BI, same how we see multiple applications that we have in our App Store, multiple applications we have it in our Android Play Store and so on. So if you see here, there are multiple charts that we have in Power BI which comes under custom visuals, So there are 200 plus custom visuals, including, if you see here, there, if we consider default chart. So more than 280 plus total custom plus default visuals that we have it in Power BI. So all these custom visuals, most of them, they are animated. Now, there is a biggest interesting thing that we can see here in this kind of custom visuals. For example, if I have something called as animated bar chart, I click on an animated bar chart visual. So in this visual, as soon as I click it, it directly doesn't let us to work on an animated bar chart. But let me consider a Play Store. If I want to install some app, for example, if I want to install some WhatsApp business, or if I want to install some Telegram and so on, there what happens? As soon as I click on it, will it directly start installing? Will it directly start downloading? No, it will not. So it will tell us what is this app, why this app is used, how can you use this app, what are the reviews of it, what are the users, customers are telling about this app. All those things we have it in a description. When we go through all these things, when we are interested, yes, we click on install and the app will get installed. In the same way, in the custom visuals also, as soon as we click on any chart that we want, it will give us an overview what exactly this chart is. What exactly this chart is, what is the rating of this chart, how you have to use this chart, when this chart was upgraded, what is the version of this chart. All these informations we are going to get it as soon as we click on any sort of custom visuals that we have in our Power BI. When we click on add, we get it in a visual section. When we click on add to this particular chart, we get in a visual section. So this is how a custom visual can be selected, where we can see multiple animations there that we have. Now, let us come back to our scattered chart. Though other than this custom visuals, Power BI has given a one animated chart which comes under the section of default charts, that is scattered chart. So let us start working on scattered chart. I'll click on a scattered chart. In this scattered chart, we have multiple informations where we can input the details, x-axis, y-axis, legend, size, and all these things. So let me show you. Let me give me the details. So for the details, let me take a subcategory here in this details. Now under x-axis, let me choose sales information where two numericals are required. And here under y-axis, let me choose profit information. As soon as I input second numerical value, the sequence of the bubbles got changed, right? Now, if I want to consider the legend, you can choose anything. So I would like to plot all these bubbles for different regions. So I'll go with the region information here. So I have got multiple regions and multiple places. Now, you might have a very important question. So you have shown me a scattered chart, that's far better. Okay, so now all the bubbles that you are seeing for sales, of profit, and for different regions, how should I identify which is the highest sales or which is the highest profit, or which is the lowest sales or which is the lowest profit? How should I find it in this one? How should we find it? So the interesting part is that we have got something called as size here. Okay, so in this size, let me include the quantity. So now we can see the variation in the bubble sizes, right? We can see the variation in the bubble sizes. Now if I just place my cursor, so whenever we place a cursor on the visual, we get a white box pop out, okay? That is called as a tooltip. Now in this tooltip, we can see that, okay, so this subcategory comes under binders and the region is central. So sales is this much, profit is this much, and this is the quantity 1473. So this is how we can get the information from this one. Now you might have a question, sir, we have almost placed every information in it. So how can you call this one as animated? Why the bubbles are not moving in it? So till the size that we have input the values, this chart comes under the default chart itself. We don't have any sort of animation in this one, but the animation will come when we input the data in a field called play axis. It is giving us an option called play axis. So what should we keep it? For example, if I would like to see for which date, for which month, for which year, how much sales I got, how much profit I got, and what is the variation. What is the variation? If you guys are getting confused with lot of bubbles here, so let me sort out. I'll remove the subcategory from here and let me place category here. So let me place category here. So this will be very much easy for you to understand. Now, so in this play axis, I would like to see for which month, for which year, for which date. So how much sales I have got, how much profit have got from each region, and what is the variation, when it got down and when it got up, when the sales got up and when the sales got down. So what is the difference? So all these things I would like to see in this scatter chart. So for this, you need to add a play axis if you would like to have an animation. So in this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add order date in this one. As soon as I add the order date, we can see that we have got a display of date for date, month and year. Now there is an animation in this chart. We can all see the play button here. We can all see the play button here. As soon as I click on play button, we can see the change in the dates with the change in the bubbles. We can see the change in the dates. We can see the change in the bubbles that we can see here. So for each region, it is getting changed. So now from 2016 to 2020, we have the years in our particular data set. So for each day, it starts showing us the change. So till we get 2020, it takes a lot of time. So what shall we do? Let us consider the year perspective only. Let us not look into the month perspective. Let us not look into the date perspective. Let us consider only the hierarchy for year. So what should we do? Under this order date of play axis, we have an option called date hierarchy. As soon as I click on date hierarchy, we get the values only in the terms of years. So if I click on this play button, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Okay, so now if I would like to see, we all think that, okay, so this is in a top bubble, so this is having a maximum sales and maximum profit. So if I click on this one, what is the position of it? If you see this, from where it got started in 2016 here, 2017, it went down 2018 and 2019. In the same way, if I would like to click on this one, if you see here, it was 2016, it was in here, and this much is the sales. Again, the sales got up. Again, it went down in the year 2019. So we have got less profit. So that is how we can see the animation in a scatter chart. So again, I'm repeating, scatter chart is the default animated chart that we have in Power BI. It comes under the default visuals, but not under the custom visuals. There are many more custom visuals where a lot of animations are required, that we will look into it very slowly. So again, I'm repeating, for the scatter chart, two numerical data is required. So if I tell you the numerical data that we have considered is sales and profit, but you might have a question, sir, again you have used quantity, that is also a numerical data, but that is belonging to the size. So though if you give size, though if you don't give size, we can start functioning on the particular visual. But if you want to see the visual, I mean, if you want to get the visual properly, correctly, yes, these two numerical data are mandatory. So this is how we can use a scatter chart, which is a default animated chart in Power BI. So you also please practice it and try it from your end. Thank you for choosing Know How Academy as your source for IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate the tech world. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Stay curious and keep learning.